We got a dangerous week ahead with PPI and CPI numbers about to be dropped over the next 2 days. The reason why this is dangerous is because the NASDAQ is at an extremely pivotal moment. Stocks have already pushed super overbought territory. So whatever happens with the CPI and PPI numbers could be a pivotal moment for a huge shift in the market to the downside, or we skyrocket above into new highs. We're also seeing Bitcoin at a very pivotal moment where it is on the verge of a major bullish breakout, which would be a huge signal for the bulls and a continuation for crypto and altcoins in general. But if this is resistance here and PPI and CPI numbers are bad, this is the beginning of the next leg down. Let's look into the charts and see what we got cooking. All right, guys, if I could ask you a quick favor before we get started. Currently, we have 5,480 subscribers. If we could get the like to follow ratio to 10%, which would mean we need 548 likes on this specific video. So if you look down right now and you don't see 548 likes yet, minimum, if you could please hit the like button, that would be greatly appreciated. We can grow this channel together. Coming out, dropping. That is 8:30 p.m. my time tonight in Bali, which is 8:30 a.m. U.S. time Tuesday. We also have Wednesday, core inflation rate, CPI, coming out. This is the big one coming in on Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. So these are going to be the pivotal moments for stocks and crypto to find out what's going to happen next. This is literally make or break situations where everyone's just sitting on edge, on full tilt, wondering what the hell is going to happen with the numbers, what the numbers are going to look like. More importantly, how is the market going to react? It's typically almost like a no trade day for me, similar to NFP, non-farm payroll day, because the volatility is typically so high. You're going to see a huge spike either up or down. And a lot of times that first initial spike is actually the opposite direction that the market ends up. But the only thing we know for sure that it's going to be crazy. The only thing we know for sure is that it's going to be crazy volatility and it's going to shake a lot of people out of their positions. And that's kind of what it's designed to do. If we start off looking at the NASDAQ, we're still short in this position as of right now, as this thing just keeps teetering up. Super, super greedy levels here. Just continually inching up. And we're staying slightly above the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level. Now, we'll see what happens. Typically, when you want to see a new bearish trend forming, you don't want to see prices start going up above 0.786. Now, we're teetering on that level. And what I've found mostly is as price is nearing CPI data that comes out, there's not going to be a reversal for it. A lot of times prices continue inches right up into the actual news announcement. And then we finally see the make or break shift based on the data, whether we just break out above this level and start pumping and retesting all-time highs and potentially flag and then continue to flag up into new highs as the trend continues, something like this. Brief interruption here, guys. Did you know that 75% of traders have accounts under $25,000? This creates a huge problem because even if you double that account in a year, which is almost impossible, you're still only making $25,000. Introducing Hydra funding, where you can potentially get access up to $500,000 in capital. All you have to do, guys, is sign up for a challenge account, which is going to give you potentially access up to $500,000. And if you earn a 10% profit in this demo account without going into a 5% loss overall or a 4% loss in a day, you will then pass their evaluation phase and, yes, get access to an account with the selected size account. And now, instead of trying to double a $10,000 account, you could potentially earn only 10% on a $100,000 account to earn the same level of profits. And the benefits of this are huge. Rather than risking your entire $10,000 on one account, you can use just $1,000 to potentially get access to $100,000 in capital. You can trade crypto, Forex, stocks, CFTs, gold, oil, everything under the sun, all on MT4 and MT5. If you're interested, if you have an account under $25,000, like 75% of traders out there, you're not going to make any money with that account because it's too small. Get access to pro level funding and pro level capital with Hydra funding. Link's going to be below. Breaking into new all-time highs, or the CPI print is bad and we see a quick shakeout to the upside and then a big dump to the downside. And that's the eventual continuation of the downtrend after this. Okay. This is a similar situation that happened last time. Here, we saw that big initial sell-off, pulled back up 78.6% Fibonacci retracement. Then a new bearish trend was formed. We saw new lows spike up into the trend, new lows again. But then after that third time of new lows, then we actually broke out the actual pivot, changed of character, and then the bull trend continued up again. So right now we're at that same pivotal moment of this mark right here, 78.6% Fibonacci retracement. Is it going to be the next leg down to new lows, or is it just going to bust through these levels and then continue to go up to new highs, right? We have no idea. Nobody fucking knows what's going to happen. Anybody that says they do know is lying. All we can do as traders is look at every scenario as either A is going to happen or B is going to happen. There's only two ways that this can go, either up or down. And right now we're looking for the highest probability of what might happen next. We're pointing down as in the sense of we're extremely overbought in the fear and greed. And we know that in this similar situation in the past, that led to new lows. Okay. So that is the current small bet that I'm placing on. It's not like I'm betting the farm. It's not that I'm saying the bull market is over. I'm just looking for what's going to happen in the next 14 to 45 days to take advantage of. And then I reset my mind. I look at the charts and reevaluate again, and then reset for a new plan. Calling bull market, bear market, long-term, who fucking knows? Nobody fucking knows, okay? But the shorter time frames you look at, the easier it is to predict what might happen next in the near term, and that's all I try to do as a trader. Now, with that said, if the CPI numbers are bad and we do see a big sell-off after a mega run to the upside and we're overbought, that's definitely going to affect crypto. And Bitcoin is at an extremely pivotal moment as well, as we are in this channel as of right now and we're testing for the third time. And a lot of times third time or fourth time is the actual pivot point or breakout moment that actually triggers the actual break it to the upside. So Bitcoin is also, again, at a very pivotal moment, right? We're at resistance right here from these highs as well as 1, 2, and now the third test of this. A breakout and sustained push above this level is going to be a very bullish signal that it could be the next leg up for crypto to come and retest all-time highs. So as of right now, if we look at the actual trends of what's happening here, we did break the 50-day moving average, so that's now bearish on that longer-term trend. The degenerate trend did shift right here to bearish as well. It keeps coming up, retesting it here, and now it's retesting it again. Now, the more times a resistance level is tested or the more times a support level is tested, the more likely that wall is weakening, right? Imagine you're taking a hammer, you hit this once, twice, third time. The more times you hit something, the weaker the frame becomes, the more higher probability that finally one of these times this thing's going to crack to the upside or downside in the sense of a breakout or breakdown. So when we're looking at Bitcoin here, this would be a bullish signal if we broke out above it. But right now, typically off a resistance point, that's an area that's also a sell because that means it's going to bounce off that level for the next leg down. And so that's why this is such a crazy week, because we're at such pivotal moments. We're literally sitting on the breakout point, whether this breaks out to the upside or this is just a resistance point and we come back down. And it's all dependent on what happens with PPI and CPI. Those will be the determining factors of where this market goes. And so that makes it a difficult situation because there's going to be a lot of volatility that spikes it to the upside or a lot of volatility that spikes it to the downside very, very fast. Literally within seconds, we're going to see a big move. And that's a dangerous moment because being that we're at, if you bet long here and all of a sudden PPI and CPI comes bad, you're going to get a significant downside spike very rapidly. You're going to lose a lot of money really fast. But if you go long or if you're short and the PPI and CPI is good, it's going to spike up significantly very, very fast in a very short amount of time, and you're going to lose a lot of money. Now, if you're on the right side, you're obviously going to make money very fast. The problem with that is this is like it's a bet. It's a 50-50 bet, and you have zero idea to understand what PPI or CPI is going to do. But if we look at the charts, I would say the bet is in favor of bearish downside momentum. The problem is the news doesn't care about the charts, right? People react to news and the charts can be broken, or whatever chart you're looking at, news can change that very, very rapidly. So that's why this is a very difficult and volatile week, because the charts would say, okay, this looks like a potential downside move. NASDAQ is looking like a potential oversold or overbought signal here that we can then short into it in the sell-off, but we don't know because we're sitting here waiting with our fingers up our ass, wondering what the hell is going to happen with CPI and PPI data. So overall, based on the charts, it's an interesting situation that I would be betting on the short side for downward momentum, just for the fact that we're simply overbought, and we've seen this before that led to new downside lows. So I would be very cautious with what you're doing. But overall, right, if CPI and PPI is good and we break out above this level, that's gonna be bullish, and that could be the signal that we should be starting to get into altcoins again. Now, if we look at some of the altcoins, they haven't been performing very well despite Bitcoin going up. If we look at Super here, this thing is just dumping right now, but it's dumping into also a support level. Is this a good buy signal? This could potentially be an area to be buying here right off the support, but we're not exactly oversold yet. I feel much more comfortable if we're down in these levels. Right, this one created that first pivot. We were oversold. This time we're retesting, but we're not necessarily oversold. So we'll see what happens as of right now, but altcoins are not sustaining themselves very well at the moment. We're seeing still a lot of downside moves on some of these coins. Now, they are, some of them, getting into oversold territories, such as XAI. I do like this chart. It is forming a trap underneath this level. Nice little bullish candle there with a long extended wick. I also like Ondo, but it is starting to break this trend, right? And it isn't oversold yet. Now, if we did see a sell-off across the board in stocks and crypto, a lot of these altcoins are going to have another sell-off. But some of them are looking good. I'm definitely liking what I see across the board on a lot of these altcoins, even Tau retesting this level. Like a trap under here, if we start breaking down below this level and then we come back up and close up above that level and we're in this oversold territory, I think this could be a potential strong buy on Tau. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of altcoins. If you want to see exactly what I'm buying and selling and exactly when I do it, why I do it, what my stop levels and profit target levels, I do have my Discord Wolfpack group alerts that you can actually join. There'll be a link below. But anyways, guys, these are kind of the pivotal moments that we're seeing for this week. And it's really just make or break based on a gamble, a lottery ticket of wondering what the hell is going to happen with PPI and CPI. Nobody knows. But as of right now, if we look at the objective chart for Bitcoin, a breakout above this channel, this is going to be a very bullish signal, but that's probably not going to happen unless PPI and CPI has good data. If PPI and CPI has bad data, this is going to see another dump to the downside, and we might even come and retest for the third time. 1, 2, we got 3, basically now potentially 4 to the downside of this channel, which would also be in line with retesting about 52K, which I've been talking about for a while now. Same with NASDAQ here, guys. We're sitting at this pivotal moment. Same with US 30, sitting at 78.6% on the retracement, okay? Scary levels to be buying, that's for sure, because we're extremely overbought here. Right at a 78.6% peak level of a fib retracement. There is definitely the higher probability of a downside. It's just we're at the make or break moment of this pending news that we have no idea what's going to happen. So be very cautious, be very diligent. Don't bet the farm ahead of CPI or PPI. Everyone usually tries to, especially like in Forex, there's all these traders out there who, if you're a good trader, you know that it's a no trade day, especially if you're a short-term trader, because there's so much volatility and you're literally gambling 50% that it's either going to spike big to the upside or spike big to the downside. A 50% probability is not necessarily a good trade. What we're trying to look for is objective. What is the highest probability based on how did people, the entire neural network of traders, react under a similar situation in the past? And we set up a trade plan based on that same scenario for the current trade plan. And right now, NASDAQ, 78.6% fib levels, just like we did last time, new lows. But if it breaks out above that, then I stop out, right? My stop is not far off. My stop is just above the level. I'm in right around here with, I'll take 25% off here, 50%, 75%. My last final profit target is here. The reason why I like to enter and exit in grids is because a lot of times when you're trading, you might only get just a little bit of movement in your direction. So if we retested this support level, I'm going to lock in 25% profit. then I'll move my stop to break even. That ensures that I'm going to make money on this trade no matter what. If it keeps going, then great. I'll keep making money. But then if it just goes down to this support level right here, and that's all I get, which a lot of times when you're in a trade, how many times have you been in profits in the beginning, but your profit target is down here and you're waiting for this? And this a lot of times is not going to happen. Like 99% of the time, you're only going to get maybe down to here or here or here. A lot of times, maybe 50% of the time, you're only going to get just this little push. Lock in 25%, move your stop to break even, because the probability is potentially that it comes back down, bounces off this level, and then just keeps fucking ripping. So always be locking in profits when they come, because they disappear faster than they arrive. And I'm sure you've experienced that for yourself. But anyways, guys, again, let's get a 10% subscriber to like ratio, which means we need 540 likes minimum on this video. If you could go ahead and hit the like button, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's see what happens with PPI and CPI. Place your bets. I'm currently short the NASDAQ as of right now. I don't have any positions open on Ethereum or Bitcoin. I do have a few altcoin positions long right now, but you can find out what those are in the Discord group, which will be in the link below. Anyways, see you guys in the next one. Peace.